Usimukwena. She's the SAFJA Deputy Chair. It's been 3 years now. We also have our SG, Sholim Tim Kulu. We have our Treasurer General there, Mazola. I saw a name, Chakonia, Lehlohonoro. Yes, and we also have our content officer here, Tsepang Mailwane. We have our women and LGBTQI officer, Litabo Khanyako, who's not here. She's in Bulukwane. She's on Zoom. Yes. Litabo is there. And also we have our membership officer as well, Tolagele Mganga. She's also not here. I'm not sure if she's on Zoom as well. And we also have our second content officer, Chad Glade. We know him very well. He's my colleague at SAFJA Sport as well. And we also have the representative from the different provinces. In Limpopo, we have Ofani Munyai, and also in KZN, we have Mkule Laka is the producer at Kosi FM, the biggest radio station in the country, close to 8 million listeners. And I say this is sport, obviously. And also we have in the Western Cape, Carl Lewis, previously with Eyewitness News. So I think most importantly, colleagues, also to welcome from our partners, Ms. Indira, welcome. Also we have our guests today from the mother body, the CEO of the mother body, a former Manyana player herself, well-traveled. She's been a manager in Banyana. Welcome, Ms. Munyepao. And also we have Mr. Den Chamalala. Well, I know that SAFJA doesn't have a technical sponsor. Still stand. So I think your presence here, I think the TG will just have to negotiate when do we conclude this deal. Yes. So, folks, I'm not going to introduce you here because I take you are now a member. Yeah. I think from our side, colleagues, to also welcome one of our nominees who's here today, Mbozi Mogwayo. I think the first time I really got to know you, I think there was a team called Detroit Ladies. You used to play for the team, so at least I know my women's. I've been covering it for some time now. Very interesting, the longevity you've just had in our game. I think you are concluding almost 30 years next year playing football. I think that says a lot, and it's an example that you've set in local women's football. I think firstly, before I start, I would like to also, I know that there are some very important awards that are happening this week, after this very important award that we're attending here. And I'm glad to say that for the SAFJA Sports Journalist of the Year, all the nominees are SAFJA members. All the nominees are SAFJA members, including our SG here, Sholim Tim Kulu. She's been nominated for that award. And most importantly, for an award that I consider, taking nothing away from the weekend awards, but an award that I consider to be one of the key awards in honoring the best journalists. She is the reigning Vodacom Sports Journalist of the Year as well. So that tells you about the quality that is just within this organization. As much as we're talking about the Football Journalists Organization today, because today we are currently the only organized sports journalist organization in the country. Taking that, in fact, the other sporting codes, you can count all of them. I don't want to mention the other sporting codes. And within here, you'll find us in other spaces covering just outside football. Obviously, Mr. Matthew Sampete, previously with Daily Sun, and Ms. Tato Mwe. She's also another one who's been nominated, and they are all SAFJA members. I remember vividly about 3 years ago, around this time, I think we were planning our first ever SAFJA AGM, and at that time we were just a WhatsApp group, and already I think plans were set. Bafana was going to play a qualifier around that time, and I think we were going to be at FNB Stadium. And it happened that, and I think this was also the inaugural season of the SAFA National Women's League at the time, known as the SAFA National Women's League. And if I remember very well, they were just about to finish that season, and Neck was Rhoda Mlawudzi, and she was tied with Uhinda Mahaya for the Triple Star Award. I think they were on 34 or 36 goals. Even though I know that the journalist in Busi had the right stance, that Rhoda was ahead of Mahaya. We'll leave the rest to the yeah, because we're journalists. So at that time, we were planning to launch SAFJA. COVID happened. And when COVID happened, it meant that journalists were stranded. There was no opportunity to gather news, there was nothing just happening. And I remember in our WhatsApp group at the time, because the WhatsApp group was set for something different, just to organize ourselves as football journalists on the ground. I know that there are some colleagues who are still fighting us today that we formed something and they were not part of it, but when we existed at the time, we were just a group of journalists who were on the ground around the country and sharing every difficulty that we have at the time. And when COVID struck, I remember it was in March 2020, that is when we now started to introduce as that group, I think we're about 23, 24, to introduce virtual press conferences. And the popularity of that grew in such a way that that's when we decided that, look, we're already on our way to forming a structure.